presents a new upcoming class. Stay tuned. Sacred Bonds by Daryl Abdullah Kirk. Yes, Sacred Bonds, navigating the depths of Muslim matrimony and the family. You don't want to miss this one. Please stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms right here on SunnahFollowers.net.
Rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our series of the sacred bonds of marriage. Very, very, very important topic in Islam. It's very important. I want every Muslim listening to me to understand something that one of the first things that you learn as a Muslim is this. Before we embark upon anything in life, we have to first investigate and find out how to go about doing it. So this is one of the things that I respect about the new shahadas here. You new shahadas, many of you that I have in here right now, and by the way, that program, we'll talk about that a little later. But one of the things that I respect about you new shahadas, I do have a lot of you sisters here who are coming to this class because you plan on getting married, but you don't want to just jump into something in your new way of life that you don't understand how to do. And this is why I was texting Kimmy earlier when I was putting that page together. We're going to talk about that page, guys, because that's a lot of work that page wants. Plus they charge money, but anyway, we'll talk about that. Kimmy was helping me put some stuff together on that page. And one of the things, like I said, she said that when she converted to Islam, before she converted, she and her boyfriend, they've been boyfriend and girlfriend, her husband now. They were boyfriend and girlfriend since high school. He was her first love, her only dude. And she was his only boo, and he was her only boo. Two peas in a pod. They were next door neighbors. She told me her story. Kind of cute. They grew up next door to each other. Nice suburban family. Pretty affluent. They weren't poor, none of that. Nice suburban family. They both went to high school. They grew into all their schools together. Graduated from high school. They went to college. He's an engineer. Okay, she's what? Guess what she is, guys? She belongs here. She's a nurse. Alhamdulillah, I didn't know Kimmy was a nurse. She's a nurse. She has her BSN like Pfizer. She has a BSN in nursing, and he's an engineer. He's an electrical engineer. And so they went to college together and they lived together. She said when they went to college, that's when they moved in together. They got a dorm room together and they just lived together. She said they never got married. She said because it's not, like she said, it's not part of the non-Muslim culture. Like she said, who gets married today? Why get married when you can just live together and have kids out of wedlock and raise them that way, like most non-Muslims do? So she said that they were doing good together. They lived together after college. They graduated with their bachelor's degrees. And then she said they went back to their home state and they got an apartment together. They lived together. She working as a nurse at the hospital in her city, and he's got a good job with a very well-known company here in America and all that. She said, but something was missing in her life. She was telling me her story because she's young. Believe it or not, they're still in their late 20s. She's 28, I think she said, and they're 28, 29. A little bit older than my twins here at the SunnahFollowers. She said, so they've been, living a good life. She said the money and all of that, nice house that they bought. And I didn't know you can do that in certain states in America. You don't have to get married. You can buy a house together and not be married. I didn't know that. So she said they live in a nice house, They built it from the ground up. He's an engineer, she's a nurse, happy, but not happy. She said she was happy because I asked her to tell me about her story while we were working on that new platform. And she said that they were happy, but she was not happy. She said she was happy with the material thing and with him, because she said being with him was effortless. And this is the word she used. I said, I got to look that up. I mean, I know what effortless means. You know, I have a degree in English, but what does it mean to be in a marriage or a relationship and it's effortless? Have you ever heard that before, Geechee? Laila, Geechee, any of y'all in there? Anybody ever heard that?
No, never.
She said that, and remind me to look that up, because y'all know me. When I find out something to hear something I ain't never heard, well, I'm gonna check it out. She said their relationship has always been effortless. That's the word, the terminology she used. Write that down, Lisa, so I can look up what that means. I might want to put it in a book. She said their relationship was effortless. So it wasn't him. He wasn't a problem. She said, but ever since she was in college, she felt that something was missing in her life, not him, because he's effortless. I got to keep that word going. But she felt like there was something else that she needed in life, and she never knew what it was. She said until she met one of the doctors at the hospital that she works at. And she said, this is a female doctor. And she said the doctor is from overseas, and she was, Arabic. She wears hijab and everything. She's a cardiologist. She said she met this Muslim Arabic cardiologist. And, she said that she was talking to her one day and told her there's just something missing in my life. And she said it was the doctor that said, well, what could it be? And tell me what you think it is. And they got to talking. And she said this cardiologist told her, perhaps you're missing God. Now you see, whoever this doctor is, even though Allah has blessed her with money, a good job, look how she pays it back to Allah. She's giving dawah right there. She said, well, this doctor told her, perhaps it's God. She said, when the woman told her that, she said she went home and said, maybe that is it. I got everything else. I got a nice man. Our relationship is effortless. Effortless. Wow, I got to get that. And we got a nice house. She drives a beautiful, nice car. She doesn't have children because she says she doesn't want to have kids yet. And that's, a woman can make that choice for herself in this day and age. In this day and age in which we live, women can make the choice as to whether or not they want to get pregnant immediately or later. Allah has blessed us with technology and science and the knowledge of things where we can put off having babies. She said that even now, having children is not a priority for her. She said she'll just wait maybe a few more years, and if push come to shove, she can freeze her eggs. She asked me about freezing the eggs. Is it lawful? And of course I told her, yes, it is. A lot of Muslim women don't know that freezing your eggs is lawful. You can do that. Okay, so she said that, so it ain't the children that's missing in her life. She said, but she thought about it. She said, and maybe it is God. So she said she was browsing through the internet one day, and she heard some man, she can't remember who it was, speaking on the internet about Allah. She said, and it kind of woke her heart up. It made her curious. So she said she went back to the hospital and she asked that doctor, if I wanted to learn more about your belief, what can I do? And she said this cardiologist told her, well, here, let me give you the telephone number to the local masjid here, you know, where we do lectures and we got people there. We have a new Shahada committee that can help you, or for people. That's what I was telling you guys. Most masjids nowadays, there's no excuse for you guys to be afraid. Most, if it's a big Islamic center, most of the Islamic centers have a committee in charge of people who are interested in Islam. And they have a new Shahada committee. Well, she said she gave her the number to the local mosque, and they do have a program every Wednesday. This masjid, you know, opens its doors to the non-Muslims and allows the non-Muslims to come in, you know, seeking knowledge about Islam. She said the only requirement that they had was that you cover, you know, they give you head scarves to put on. So she said she went to this mosque and asked questions, and they talked about Islam, and it striked up her interest. She said next thing she knew, she was going every Wednesday. And then she said she just knew that this was what was missing in her life. She wanted to embrace this new way of life. So she said she went home and talked about it with her boyfriend, who she'd been with since high school. He wasn't interested. He told her, I'm not into that religion stuff. You know, I ain't interested in that stuff, you know. So she kept going. And then she said one day, she got the call to Allah. That's how she put it. She said she went to the mosque and took her Shahada. And alhamdulillah, this mosque was a good mosque, because they told her, once you become Muslim, you cannot be with a non-Muslim man. She said she told them she had no problem with him. She said her relationship with him has always been effortless. She said, but what she wanted to develop was a relationship with God. So she said she took her Shahada. She went home and announced to her boyfriend that she was moving out, that she was going to live with her mother and father. And her boyfriend was flabbergasted. She said he was like, what? You're going to become a Muslim? She said, yes. He said, but we've been together forever, since we were kids. She said that she told him, there's an old saying, if you let something go and it comes back to you, it was meant for you. If you let it go and it doesn't come back to you, it wasn't meant. She said those were the last words she had with him. And then she took some things and left and went home to her parents. And the next day, her little brother came and moved everything out. And she said that she hooked up with the masjid was the one that put her on their Facebook group. Her masjid has a Facebook group just for new shahadas. And I think that's nice too. Here's an Islamic community that has a private Facebook group just for their new shahadas. So she said she hooked up with them, and they also have a Reddit page too. And then that's how she met Sister Amatullah. And Amatullah came on her Reddit page and told her about me. She said, you need to learn, there's a woman that can really teach you the basics of Islam, because she said the masjid teaches Arabic. And that's the thing, when I'm teaching you guys, you're not going to get in a mosque. The masjids teach Arabic, taught her the Fatiha, Tashahud. They're also teaching her how to, read the Quran and all of that. But she said she wanted more. And Allah just sent Sister Amatullah to her off of Reddit. And then Amatullah referred her to my Reddit group that I have on Facebook. But I don't have Brother Edwards' group that he has on Facebook. And that's how she started coming here. She said, but all this time, she never talk to her boyfriend no more. She said she had told him, don't call her, don't contact her. Our lifestyles are different. She cut him off, shut him down completely. Now you tell me if that ain't sacrifice for Allah. And like she said, let it go. If it was meant for you to come back. She said she been coming here to my classes for these, 6 months, 7 months she been here. She said, then one day he calls her family's house, her parents' house. And he says, is Kimmy still there? And they said, yes. And she said, he asked her father, he said, can you tell Kimmy that I'm interested in learning about this Islam too? So she said she still didn't talk on the phone to him. She told her father if he's interested in learning about Islam, she said she told her father, here, give him the phone number to the mosque. And she said, so her father did, and she just forgot, went on about her business, working, coming here to the classes, helping with the Reddit group. She said, and then one day she was at work because she's a nurse. They work 16-hour shifts sometimes. She said, and one of the nurses came to her and said, Kimmy, there's a young man here to see you. She said, what young man? So she said, listen to this. Tell me if this ain't romantic, guys. This is romantico. She said, she's made my day. A story like this from a new Shahada gives me hope as a daya that maybe we are making an impact on somebody. She said, so she went to see who this person was, wanted to see her. She said, lo and behold, it was Abdul standing there with a bouquet of flowers. And when she saw him, she said, she called him by his non-Muslim name, of course. What are you doing? He said, Assalamu alaikum. She said he couldn't pronounce it right, but he said, Assalamu alaikum. He said, I am Muslim. He said, and I want you back now. Oh, isn't that cute, guys? So she said she couldn't believe it. So she said, are you for real? He told her, I am Muslim. I took my Shahada. He said, and I want you back. He said, ASAP. She said, he told her life has been hell since you've been gone. Because they've been together since they were kids. So she said it was like a dream come true for her. She said after that, of course, after she checked it out to make sure he was Muslim, that he converted, she said they got married 3 days later, Islamically, of course. She said, and now she said that we're married. She said, I'm back home in the house that we built. She said with the 2 cats that we adopted years ago. She said, and life is just. She said, I can honestly say, Sister Laila, life is effortless. You get that, Anissa? You hear that? She said and now she can say life is effortless. Got it. Not just him, but her whole life is effortless. She said because she knows what was missing. She found what was missing, and that was Allah. She said, and her husband, he's a good Muslim. She said they're both learning together. He's learning from some brothers at the mosque, and he listens to my lectures too. And she's here y'all know she's here all the time on the Reddit group, listening. And plus she's with Amatullah doing stuff. So she said, she can honestly say that the missing link in her life is here. And now her entire life is effortless. And what makes it effortless is that she knows what her purpose is. And she said, and she's searching and fulfilling her purpose with her best friend. And her best friend is Crazy Abdul. her husband, her boo. And I thought that was so cute when he said, life has been hell without you. I want you back now. And he had this big, can y'all imagine that, standing there with this bouquet? I needed that. And that just shows how Allah inspires us as Muslims, guys, because we all go through some trials in life. I was in a dark place today. I wasn't feeling too good today. I was in a dark place. Especially when you guys couldn't even tell me about the angels. And sometimes it makes me as a teacher and as a daya, we question ourselves. Remember, the people of knowledge, we're the inheritors of the prophets, alayhi salam. And subhanallah, I was in a dark place today wondering, is anyone getting my message? Am I making sense to anyone? Am I just wasting my time being here all day? Is it too hard? Am I making it too complicated? Am I not balancing it out? And then you hear a person like Kimmy. Kimmy comes up out of nowhere. She ain't been here in a few days, in a few weeks, but here she is. Here she is, and she's married, got her boo back, and it's effortless. Effortless. I gotta look up that. Effortless. Okay. And I thought that Kimmy, was an African American, guys. Kimmy ain't African American. And neither is her husband, Abdul. They're Caucasian. Now, I was surprised because I asked her to send me a picture of how she looked. You know me, I want to see. I got to put a face to the person. And she sent me a picture of her and Abdul. They are a beautiful couple. They look like kids, guys. They ain't but in their late 20s. And I told her they look like they belong together. She's a Caucasian girl, and he's a Caucasian young man. And I'm so proud of them. And it's just a beautiful story. And Kimmy, make sure you share your story with your children when you do have them. Subhanallah. So, and that's what today's topic is going to be about in this class. It's a carryover from the topic I had with the children today. Tonight, we're going to be speaking about the role of the wife. The role of the wife. The role of the wife in marriage. Last week, we talked about the role of the man to provide, to maintain, to protect, to make sure that everything is taken care of outside the home. Well, tonight we're going to speak about the role of the Muslim wife. This would be great for Kimmy and others who are new to marriage or who are considering marriage. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Effortless. I want to be effortless too. I'm going to look that up. Effortless. It's just effortless, Sister Laila. Effortless. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. All right, thanks, Brother Shaheed. It sounds nice, don't it? Effortless. Effortless. Something new. Should have known she was Caucasian. Only Caucasians will speak that way. That should have been a giveaway. When I got the picture of her and her new husband, Brother Abdul, I was shocked. I'm like, oh my God, they're Caucasian. Did a double take. Woo, woo. Yeah, most of my students are African American, but not them. No. Okay, so tonight we're going to be covering a chapter, and she said she got the book too, and that's what she was reading, the book too. MashaAllah, yes, the book, guys. For those of you who have not yet purchased this book, I highly recommend it. It's called The Sacred Bonds. It's written by my student, Brother Daryl Abdullah Kirk. It's only $13 on Amazon. All of you should get this book and read it before you even consider getting married. Okay? Because he goes over the conditions of a valid marriage. He goes, oh, we already covered all that a year ago. The conditions of a marriage contract, all of that, why we get married. Now we're covering the responsibilities within the home. So make sure you guys get this book. Okay. So in the intricate embroidery of marriage, guys, the Muslim woman, as I spoke about in this morning's class, she plays a very vital role, not as the protector, maintainer, and provider, but outside the home. But she's the protector within the home. Okay, she's the provider of education and emotional stability within the home. Okay, and also, in order to do your job correctly, we have to work on changing our character to that which is pleasing to Allah. Allah defines the believing woman as being a woman of dignity. So we have to make sure that we change our character to one that is dignified. And how can we do that? Like I told you guys earlier, by learning about the female companions of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reading their life story, reading about those women and how they showed dignity in life. Because the Muslim woman, the Muslim wife is a position of dignity and strength, emotional strength. You sisters are going to have to work on learning how to control your emotions, knowing when to hold and when to fold. Because we all have PMS. You're going to have PMS until you die. That's how Allah created us. Our emotions go up and down, just like our faith. But you're going to have to take strength over your emotions. Okay? And also you have to be devoted. Devoted first, like Kimmy was. Devoted first to Allah. Devoted secondly to the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Devoted to yourself third. And then your family. Okay? Devotion means a woman that can be trusted. Your husband has to be able to trust that you will guard in his absence what he will have you to guard, which is the home. That you're not going to let people come in there that he didn't approve of. You're going to take care of those children. You're going to make sure that the kids eat, that the kids are educated about their religion, that the kids are educated as to manners. You're going to also cook for him, clean for him. Make sure that his affairs are in order within that home. So to be a Muslim wife is a great responsibility. And again, everything that we do as Muslims, male and female, we do in accordance to the Quran and the Hadith, not society, not assumptions. And when we speak about women in Islam, we're not oppressed. Women in Islam, we are not depraved. Women in Islam, we are not deprived. In fact, Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning that women have rights similar to those of men. And that right is, number one, that we be treated with dignity. We be treated with respect, that we be treated with kindness and compassion. In Islam, the believing man does not beat up on his wives like social media would like you to believe. Water seeks his own level. Righteous men are for righteous women and vice versa. If you're a woman that keeps attracting that kind of man, you need to ask yourself, what is your problem? That's all you can attract. And again, when I was listening to Sister Kimmy's story, as I was trying to put that crazy page together, that hadith of the Prophet Muhammad came back into mind. Remember, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the best amongst you are those who had the best character and the best behavior before Islam. They make the best Muslims. Look at Kimmy. She's only been with one man her whole life. Look at Kimmy. Water seeks his own level. Her and Abdul are the same. They both went to college. They were both raised in a suburban lifestyle. They come from affluent families. Okay. They both went to Ivy League colleges. They got nice degrees. They're professionals. They have professional careers. Water seeks his own level. Okay? You can't see Kimmy with no garbage man, no trash man. Okay? You can't see Abdul marrying some woman that can't even read or can't even write. Okay? So, in Islam, you want to marry on your level. Remember, we talked about that. One of the conditions that the guardian, your wali should look at is he should try to get you women married to men who are on your level. You don't want a man to be too high above you, because that ain't going to work out. And you don't want no man that's too low beneath you, because that ain't going to work out either. Water seeks his own level. You can't see Kimmy with a garbage man. You can't see Abdul marrying a girl that ain't even got a high school diploma. Okay? That's what defines effortless. Effortless. To be effortless, you got to first start off with someone on your level. Okay? You marry a man that's on your level or a woman on your level, and then together, when you go into the marriage contract, you're together. You can be together legally and lawfully now, and you get to know each other. You get to learn what makes her happy, what makes her sad, what are her likes, what are her dislikes. As a Muslim wife, you ask the man, what things will make you angry? Because I don't want to do anything that's going to bring about anger to you. So tell me what things tick you off. He might tell you, well, I can't stand for a woman that won't clean up the house. I don't come from a dirty background. I mean, you can't leave your underwear laying around on the floor. And he might ask you what things will tick you off, and you would tell him, I can't stand a man that coughs and don't cover his mouth. Cover your mouth when you cough. I mean, you ask these type of questions. Learn what the other person doesn't like. And then ask them what they do like. What are things that do make you happy? What are things that do make you proud? And then we try to live together in kindness and peace, not oppression and hurt. Does everybody understand that? And so Allah outlines the role of the husband. Yeah, but your job is to provide, maintain, protect. But out of your common sense as a human being, you should be able to sit down and find out what your wife's fears are. You should know what your children's fears are so you can protect them. Maybe you married a woman like me. You know, I'm introverted. I'm becoming more and more introverted. I don't like crowds. The reason why I don't like crowds is because I don't like germs. And I don't like people who sneeze in your face. I don't like people who cough on you. Too many diseases out there. Oh, okay. Well, it's good to know that. I'll make sure when I take you to a restaurant, I'll make sure that I ask for a private booth. Y'all see that? I'll make sure that we get a private booth where we ain't got to worry about people sneezing and we ain't got to worry about all eyes being on you. Okay? So the role of the husband, provider, maintainer, protector. You got to find out what your wife's fears are. And the same thing with the woman. You're supposed to guard in his absence what he'd have you guard. What is it that you don't want to hear about your family? Well, I don't want to hear about my wife hanging out, talking to the mailman all day. That would tick me off. I want my wife to get the mail and go in the house. I'm a jealous man. I don't like no man conversing with my wife. So you write that down. Okay, I'll make sure that I don't sit around holding trivial conversations with the mailman. I'll make sure that I don't hold trivial conversations with my neighbors. I'll say good morning, good evening, and keep it moving. And I don't want you having people. I don't want your non-Muslim friends hanging around either. That's a big one. New shahadas, write this down. If you marry a Muslim man who was born Muslim or been Muslim for a long time, he's going to tell you, number one, he don't want you hanging around with your Kafir friends. And he's justified in that because your Kafir friends are the past. Their lifestyle is not yours anymore. So guard in his absence means even the friends, the people's company you keep, they have to be righteous. So you make a note, all non-Muslim friends, that relationship is over. He may even tell you, I don't want you having people come over the house without checking with me too. That's guarding in his absence, what he would have you guard. He may also say to you, and if you do, he'll tell you, I'll do the shopping, baby. I'll take care of the food. I'll buy the food. But if you do go out and go grocery shopping, I want to make sure that you understand that ain't no turbans. Muslim women don't wear turbans. I want you to be dressed the way Allah commands, in proper khimar, which means draw your veil over your bosom. Proper abaya. You ain't got to wear black. I already know that. That's your rights. But it's my right to make sure you guard what Allah commanded you to guard, which is your body. So no tight-fitting clothes. No pants that show the shape of your legs. Put an overgarment on. That's guarding in his absence. You just get what I'm saying? And this is what you talk about. These are things that we discuss in the beginning of the marriage. Okay? Discussing these things in the beginning of the marriage is what leads to effortlessness. That's a search word. We have to remember as Muslim women that as the wife, you are the cornerstone of the marriage. What does that mean? What we spoke about today, you are the emotional support of your husband. You're the one he should be able to come to and talk about his problems at the job with. Any insecurities that he have in his life, any doubts he have within himself, any trauma that he's experiencing in his life, he should come home and be able to relax with you, not deal with drama. He don't want to hear the drama about how you had a hard time washing dishes, or you had a hard time dealing with this. You first ask him, how was your day? Did you have any problems on the job today? Is there anything that you want to talk about with me? It's your job to provide support and encouragement. That's what Khadijah did to the Prophet Muhammad. And then after she died, he felt abandoned until he remarried. That's what Sauda did. Sauda gave him the support and encouragement he needed. And Aisha gave him the support and encouragement he needed. And so did Salama. And so did Zainab. And so did every wife he married. So Islam places a great emphasis on the role of the wife as a supportive companion to her husband. We're supposed to stand by your man. What's that song? Stand by your man through good times and bad times. You're the one. You're the only one that can pick him up when he's down. If you a real woman, you will know how to pick him up when he's down. And if you don't know how, you better learn how to be a woman. Okay? And our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasized the importance of a woman supporting and encouraging her husband. Listen to what he said. He said, if a woman prays her 5 daily prayers, and she fasts the month of Ramadan every year, and she guards her chastity, that means guard in her husband's absence, what he would have her guard, and she obeys her husband. What does that mean? Obey doesn't mean he tell you to jump up and down and bark. You go, ark, 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 ark. No, you obey him in the things that Allah commanded you to obey him in. If you're doing these things, then you can enter paradise through whatever gate you want. You hear this hadith all the time, but a lot of Muslims, especially new shahadas, don't understand the meaning of obey. Obey is limited only to what Allah says obey a person in. Because the only entity that we obey is Allah, period, dot. But I'm going to obey Allah by fulfilling my duties to this man, which is to guard in his absence what he would have me guard, to take care of this home, to take care of our children, to make sure that the bills get paid when he brings the money here. Those are the things you're supposed to obey your husband in. And if he's down and out, I'll be there to support him. And when he calls me to his side, I'll be there. Those are the things you obey him in. Anything else, y'all, is not Islam. So don't get this hadith twisted. I ain't gonna jump up and down and bark like a dog for you. If you ask me to do that, I'm going to divorce you, because that shows me that you're garbage. And I don't marry beneath me. Okay? Sisters, don't get this hadith twisted. He tells you to take off your hijab because he don't want you working as a nurse and with a hijab on because he's afraid of you. Kimmy, you tell him bounce. I don't obey you in doing anything that Allah didn't command me to obey you in. Okay? And by the way, make sure y'all get on Rumble right now. Whoever's the moderators on Rumble, deal with Rumble. Okay, is anybody in Rumble? Geechee? I don't even know if Mina's here. All right. Okay, so let's talk about obedience. Let's talk about this obedience part, because I can't stand to hear anyone take the words of Allah and his prophet and twist the meaning around to suit their desires. That's a horrific sin, and I can't stand that. Okay, listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. Men are in charge of women because of the rights that Allah has given them over them. And he's talking about the physical strength. Allah has given men physical strength over us. And also, they're in charge of the women because whatever they earn in their living must be spent on the women. Okay? So because the men are given physical strength over us, they are the breadwinners, they are the ruler of the home. This is what we talked about earlier, gender roles. Allah didn't create us where we both are equal, where we can both be rulers in the house. No, a woman can never be in a position of power like that. A woman cannot rule a country. A woman cannot rule a nation. A woman cannot rule a home. That's a man's job because it takes physical strength that we don't have. Okay? And we women have to understand that and not allow society, the society that we live in, to cause us to transgress that. Men are the head of the household. They're responsible. What he says, go. Whatever rules and laws he makes, go. If he says, for example, that he doesn't want the television on while we're all sitting down eating dinner, let me ask this question. Is this something that I have to obey him in? What do y'all think? If your husband says at dinner time, I want us all to sit down as a family together and communicate and talk, I do not want the television on so we can be open with each other and communicate. Does Allah mention anything about TV? No. So tell me, do we have to obey our husbands in that, sisters? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Of course. And why? Because this is not oppressive. He's doing his job. His job is to provide, protect, and maintain. He wants to know what's going on in your life. He wants to know what's going on with the children, what's happening in school. How can he protect the children if he don't know what they're experiencing in school? How can he protect you if he don't know what your daily life entails? So that's not being oppressive. That's being a man. That's being a provider and maintainer and protector. That's his job. So he can tell you no television when we're eating dinner. Now, can he tell you this? Can he say, I don't like the fact that Allah made it so easy for you women. I don't want y'all using a dishwasher anymore. We're going to take the dishwasher out the house. And I want you to wash dishes by hand. And we're going to get rid of the washing machine too. And we're going to wash clothes the way they did back in the 8th century. Do I obey him in that?
No, so you ain't no slavery.
Exactly. She hit it right on the nose. Obedience is not slavery. Oh, no, no. Plus, this is oppression. It's your job. You're violating my right. Allah says in the Quran, what did that verse I read before say? Allah says the women have the right to be treated with kindness and dignity. Why would you make my life hard by taking away my dishwasher? Why would you make my life oppressive by taking away my washing machine? Why would you want to take me down to a level I've never been? I've never washed dishes by hand. I've never beat a rock. I'm not obeying you in that, Aki. No can do. I ain't obeying you in that. No can do. Allah hates oppression. That's oppressive. What about this? Your husband says, look at here. Your brother's a homosexual. I don't want him around my children. And I don't want him around you because the blood ties, you are blood related. And I don't want that crap rubbing off on you. So I don't want your brother in my house. Period. Dot. Do you obey your husband in that?
Yes, you do, because that is a right that Allah gave him
to protect.
He has the right to have anyone to enter his home.
And protection. It's his job to protect you from the harm of the LGBTQ. It's his job to keep you away from what Allah said is haram. So again, to get married, guys, like I told y'all, marriage is not hard. Marriage is too easy in Islam. That's why it doesn't work most of the time. What's hard is you understanding what your role is as defined by Allah. Most of us don't know our deen. And because you don't know your deen, that's why your marriage is a failure. Because you didn't know when to hold or when to fold. You didn't know what your husband's rights were. You didn't know that him keeping your LGBTQ brother away from the home was protecting you. You did not know that him telling you to turn the TV off when he comes home from work is protecting you and servicing you. How can he spend time with you if you stuck under the TV? And he has the right for you to be at his side. So this is why Muslim marriages fail. It ain't because marriage is hard. It's you're ignorant. Our priorities are not right. Instead of getting married, you should learn your role, learn your rights, learn the lawful, learn the unlawful, like Kimmy did. She let the dude go all together. Now he back in her life when she already knew what her role was. Hello. Now, so this crap about your man being your God and licking pus off of him when he bleeds, and if he tell you to jump, you say how high, and you ain't gonna enter paradise, that's garbage. That hadith about paradise that I just went over, this is for a righteous woman. Any woman, Allah is saying, who lives her life fulfilling the obligations that Allah imposed upon us. That woman, when she dies, can enter any date she wants. That's a good woman. And there's another hadith that praises the man the same way too. Any man who takes care of his wife and children will be amongst the righteous too. It's a two-way street. Most men don't know their roles and the wife's rights either. That's why we have such a high divorce rate. And a third quality that the wife has to have, of course, and this should come natural, but it doesn't. We're supposed to be loving and nurturing. Okay? You're supposed to nurture your husband's soul. When he's down, you pick him up. You're supposed to nurture the children's fitra. That's why you have to learn your religion, like the young sister said in the kids' class. Seek continuous knowledge of your religion. Don't say now that you married, you're going to stop coming to my classes. This is what I've seen as a daya. I've been teaching Islam on the internet, and I've been teaching about marriage on the internet since 1986. I can always tell when my students get married because they disappear. Some of you have asked about a few sisters. I ain't gonna say their name. Y'all say, Laila, why come sister so-and-so ain't back in the Zoom room? I can tell y'all why. She done got married. For the 10th time. And these marriages never last because they make the big mistake of not continuing their education of Islam here at this website. Now that you married, you're going to stop learning about what your right is and what your role is. Look how y'all couldn't even tell me. Y'all couldn't even tell me about the angels. What does Allah say? Man is forgetful. We forget things all the time. That's why the Allah says be consistent in seeking knowledge. These sisters will leave because they done found a new husband. Then 2-3 years later, they come back crying. I got married. He beat me up. He left me. The marriage didn't work. And I always tell them, did you think your marriage is going to work, sister, when you stop coming to these classes? You left your faith-filled environment. You left your spiritual support because you got married. Did you think your marriage was going to really last? I knew it wasn't. I always say give them 2 years. That's all it usually take, 2 years, and they back. On to the next one. So in Islam, love is not an emotion, but it's also a sacred duty that's incumbent upon both the spouses. A wife's love and affection toward her husband serves as a source of comfort, peace, and companionship. And his love towards you should be one of protection. Every woman needs a champion. Will you champion me? Throughout history, women have thrown the roles. Who's going to champion me? So he shows his love to us. How does a man show love to his wife? By championing her, by protecting her, by making her feel special, making her believe, even if it ain't true. Making her believe that she's the most important thing in this world to him. How many of you brothers do that? Especially you brothers with the 2, 3, 4. Hit the door. Why y'all keep hitting the door? Do you make every single one of your wives feel special? Feel that she's it? Most of you don't. You favor one over the other, which is a sin in Islam. All the prophet's wives will tell you they were loved. Every one of his wives knew that she was special. Every one of his wives will tell you that they were the apple of his eye. That's a man. That's a MAN apostrophe point dot. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, the best of you is the one who is best to his family. And I am better than all of you because I am the best amongst my family. Oh yeah, he was a man. He championed every wife. Every wife will tell you he loved me and I was important. I was special. That's how you show love to a woman, brothers. And if you're showing a woman love, you'll be surprised at what she'll do for you. Maybe she'll lick the pus off you without you asking. Maybe she'll even drink your bath water. Hello. Because every woman wants a prince. Every woman wants to feel like a princess. A little bit of advice there. Okay. And finally, everything we do, be it marriage, be it divorce, be it cooking, cleaning, be it teaching, be it working, providing, maintaining, everything that we do as Muslims is supposed to be done for the sake of Allah, guys, not for the sake of anyone or anything else. I tell you guys all the time, for you sisters, and I'm telling you brothers now, don't ever try to weaponize a woman. Don't ever try to weaponize a woman by telling her that she's supposed to do things to please you, because that ain't true. Allah tells us in a beautiful hadith qudsi that he's not in need of anything that a person does for his sake and someone else. If it ain't done to please Allah, he doesn't accept it. And whatever I do, I'm doing for Allah, because he's the one that holds my qadr, not you. Men can come and go, but I ain't got but one life. I ain't got but one soul. And when I die, that soul either going to be in hell or in paradise. I'm going to obey you in all the things that Allah commanded me to obey you in. And I'm going to respect you. I'm going to make you feel that you are the best man on this planet. But don't get it twisted. I'm doing it because I want Allah to be pleased with me, not you. If you ain't pleased with it, you can bounce. I can replace you. But I'm doing it because I want my Lord to be pleased with me. And when Allah speaks about guarding in a husband's absence, this is real important, especially in 2025. Allah says righteous women are devoutly obedient, guarding in their husband's absence what Allah would have them to guard. How many of y'all ponder this verse? Is Allah saying lick the pus off a man and obey him in everything he says? Nope. Allah is specifically saying you are being obedient by guarding yourself. That means not being on Facebook, chatting with a bunch of third world country ugly vagabonds. That means not sitting out talking to the mailman unnecessarily, hanging out at the neighbor's house. That means not walking out the house without a hijab on, flirting, flaunting yourself. That means not getting on the internet, making your voice all Marilyn Monroe, pretending to be a shaker because you want the men to want you. Allah says righteous women are devoutly obedient by guarding in their husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. That means taking care of your children, educating them, homeschooling them. Oh yeah, you should be homeschooling your kids. Teaching them manners, teaching us in them Islamic adab. Okay? Supporting them. Just like you support your husband. So don't get it twisted, this obedience crap.